the ultimate tribute to the best zombies character. Grab your very own Richtofen gravestone posted today via MrDalekJD.com, linked down below. So what's going on, guys? My name is Mr. Dalek JD, and in this video we are going to be discussing some potential DLC 1 story information. Now, if you have no idea what DLC 1 is, then you might want to click off this video, as this may contain some spoilers. And we have no confirmation if this is 100% going to be DLC 1, but there is a lot of things which lead me to believe it is, and we're going to be diving into a specific Easter egg on Voyage of Despair that helps us set up the DLC 1 scenario. So if you enjoyed this video, let me know down below in the comment section, and leave a like rating if you do enjoy as well, as that'd be very useful. But again, if you don't want any spoilers, then you might want to click off right now. We're going to be looking at a newspaper Easter egg on Voyage of Despair, which is a singular newspaper that spawns down in the staterooms. And I think there is a little bit more to this, as it can appear in other places on the map and not necessarily always here. But if you restart your game enough times, you will find this newspaper here in the staterooms. Normally it's a blank newspaper, as you're seeing right here in a casual game, but on a normal game, after enough restarts, I finally got it to spawn. Now, we also got word from the ex-QA tester at Treyarch, Call of Nobody Cares, who mentioned that there was a newspaper Easter egg on Voyage of Despair which related to DLC 1 and its location. So this is the newspaper that person was talking about. And everything else that QA Tester has mentioned has been completely 100% genuine, so I have no doubt that this newspaper is indeed an Easter egg reference to DLC 1, as it's a newspaper which isn't always in this location. Jumping into the details, the main headline is Mysterious Fire Destroys Rhodes's Manor. Alistair Rhodes feared among hundreds dead. So we can get a little bit of a storyline already from this newspaper heading on what the map's going to be like. We now confirm that it is a mansion or manor that we're going to be in, and it's the manor that belongs to Scarlett's father. Now, we don't know if we're going to be playing as him. I doubt that would be the case, but the QA tester, as mentioned, will be playing as a different crew of characters as opposed to the Chaos crew that we're playing as right now. But interestingly, if you look further down on the newspaper, you can actually see an image of Scarlett with the headline, Rhodes's hair Scarlett witnessed fleeing the scene. So she was there at the mansion, and she even mentions in quotes on Voyage of Despair things like, if they were his best friends, why weren't they at the mansion? So to make things even more confusing, we are going to be playing a prequel to Voyage of Despair, which is set before Voyage, but yet Scarlett was present at some point during the events and was witnessing it, and that's what she's talking about on Voyage of Despair. Scarlett was at the mansion, she fled the scene before she got herself in any danger, and we're going to be experiencing the events that led up to Voyage of Despair, basically. We've had what comes after Voyage of Despair, but now we're getting what came before it as the next map, so it's very confusing. Like I said, it's described as a prequel to the Chaos Crew's current adventure, and to me, it seems like the fire obviously happened before Voyage of Despair, unless the newspapers have the ability to time travel somehow. Now, the ex-QA tester mentioned that this story of DLC 1's map follows 4 new characters at a mansion party where all of the other guests were turned into zombies. There are werewolves, Nosferatus, ghosts, secret chambers, and an upgradable wonder weapon based on the ray gun. So with all that information in mind, it sounds like this prequel map is going to be setting up the scene as to how her father disappeared in the first place. We know a few of the stories of him and the other characters now thanks to the comic books, but it sounds like the authorities think that Alistair Rhodes is among hundreds of others which died in a fire at the Rhodes Manor, but we know that's obviously not the case, and there is a lot more to it. Now, as for playable characters on this map, it's unknown at this point who exactly we're going to be playing as. We could maybe assume we might be playing as Alistair Rhodes, but I really doubt that. But we could be playing as 4 friends of his or business partners, or we could be playing as other people which are caught up in his business affairs and simply want him dead. At this point, I don't think any of us have a clue what this could be like and what could happen in the story. But like I mentioned earlier about this newspaper time traveling stuff, What if this is a version of reality which we are going to be changing when we play on the map, where we don't have a fire that destroys Rhodes' manor? And it also mentions this is a mysterious fire. It's not just like an accidental fire which was caused by someone and has a known culprit. It was a mysterious fire which destroyed his manor. So obviously there is a reason why the manor was targeted and destroyed, and hopefully we're going to learn and see some really cool details in perhaps what he has in this manor, which is so valuable and was targeted for destruction. I've only read the first comic of the brand new series, so I only know about the backstory with Bruno and Alistair Rhodes, but I know that the cult were after him because he possessed a Sentinel artifact which actually brought Bruno back to life when he was on the brink of death. So that's just one of the many artifacts I think that he might have in his possession at this manor, and maybe that's how it ends up on Voyage of Despair after what happens with it in the manor. I don't know. But if you guys have any ideas, please let me know down below in the comment section. Brainstorm what you think could happen with this story for this DLC map. And again, if you enjoyed the video, a like rating would be very much appreciated. If we hear any official news about DLC 1 for Black Ops 4 Zombies, then you know you can find the information first here on the channel. So make sure you're hitting that subscribe button and turning on that notification bell. And I thought this was just a really cool Easter egg and something which I think was definitely overlooked by most of us. I'm sure we would have noticed this newspaper at some point, but the fact that it probably got leads to DLC 1 is really interesting, and it's obviously an Easter egg because it's blank most of the time unless you're playing in a normal game and you manage to get it to spawn here in the staterooms. But thank you for watching, take care, and I'll catch you for another one very, very soon. Bye!